Welcome to Business and Bubble Tea. Here on the podcast today, we have with us Shuo Liu, the founder of Meetup Biotech. It was founded in April 2022 and is a startup company dedicated to improving fermentation technology for the natural juice-based gluten-free drinks and FMCG business. Shuo, it's great to have you on the podcast with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So welcome to Business and Bubble Tea. I'll start with the first question, and we would like to know more about Meetup and especially about the process behind your products.
Right. So actually, well, first of all, let me give you guys some background. The reason why we founded this company and reason why we spend a lot of money on R&D to produce the gluten-free and also less harmful, like let's say, alcohol product is because we realize not only in China, especially actually overseas, it's a global phenomenon. The generation Z are paying much more attention to their health conditions, and they want to indulge themselves at the same time, try to reduce the harm or through whatever ways, especially when they are drinking alcohol. And then if you look at the existing products, we have a lot of alcohol-free products, but there's nothing funny about alcohol-free. You lose the best part of the alcohol, right? However, when you are drinking the alcoholic beverages, you will either have something with super high sugar level, or say beer. Beer has both, well, especially IPA, you have both high sugar level, you have high gluten as well. So we say, okay, what about trying to create something that with low sugar level or nearly zero sugar level, and then gluten, try to load down the gluten content. But however, you need to be as easy to drink as beer, as refreshing as beer. The first category we thought was actually cider. Actually, the drink we created is more like a creative cider. And because if you fermentate the apple juice, you get more easy to drink taste, and the sparkling part of the fermentation. I mean, the fermentation will create a natural gas, and when you are drinking that type of naturally brewed alcohol, you feel when your body feels that you are it's more friendly for your body to swallow that. And so we did a lot of experiments. We spent actually 10 million RMB on the R&D, and we launched seven generations of the products, and the recent two ones are we say successful, both in terms of the sugar level, also the gluten content, and also the richness in the taste, the different layer of the taste. Well, we of course we modified a lot of technology during the fermentation process. We adjusted the temperature, the pressure, and also the period of time of brewing. Yeah, it's like combining beer, cider, and champagne together. Yeah. Champagne technology, I would say. Yeah.
And can I just check? We interviewed one company called Impossibrew that was founded by Mark Wong, and I'm just wondering, because that's a UK focused company. What's the market like in China
for which category?
For your sort of non-alcoholic beers.
Well, I mean, my product contains alcohol. Well, I always have a doubt about the non-alcoholic drinks in China. I've been in beer business for quite a few years, actually over 10 years, mostly in China, sometimes spent 2 years in Belgium. I realized one thing, though. In China, we have this service, the 代驾 service. It's like you have the driver driving for you.
Yeah.
In urban areas in China. Right. So that means you drink whatever you want, and then you invite a 代驾 to drive back for you. It's nothing like that in Europe or in the US.
I don't think there is, no.
Yeah.
No
exactly.
代驾, no 代驾 here.
You need to drive for yourself. And that's the big hurdle for you guys to drink and drive at the same time. But back in China, you drink and you don't drive, you invite somebody else, you hire somebody else to drive for you. So that kind of hurts the market potential for non-alcoholic drinks. I had an interview a couple of days ago with an American investor. He said, according to his research, over 40% of the young generation, they refuse to drink alcoholic drinks anymore. That was a big shock to me, surprise to me. But it's nothing like that in China. Young consumers are still actually looking for more alcoholic experiences. The percentage of people who haven't drunk alcohol, overall population, I mean, the people have to be above 18 years old, is over 50%. And nearly more than 70% of female drinkers haven't tried alcoholic drinks before. So that's a huge market ahead of us for low alcoholic beverages. Of course, we will at some time launch zero alcohol drinks, but not for the moment. I think alcoholic drinks still have a huge potential to grow.
You said your idea started from a trend that we can see in the European American markets about people being more aware of possible consequences of alcohol or also like fermentation. Is something changing there as well?
Different groups, I would say. For the female drinkers, of course, let's say majority of the female drinkers and more male drinkers, they are preferring the lower alcoholic beverages. Actually, they want to indulge themselves at the same time. They don't want to lose control of themselves. I think this is the similar trend for compared with other countries. Yeah.
Looking more at your kind of journey as an entrepreneur, can you tell us a little bit more about your background and what led you to found Meetup?
I spent over 10 years in beer industry, mostly with the multinationals. Started with the Stella Artois team actually in Belgium. That was InBev back then AB InBev, and then Heineken. And I did my MBA in Rotterdam, Erasmus University. Throughout the years of working and on the study, both in China and overseas, I realized my real passion is still among the consumer goods business, packaged good business. However, I do not, how do I put it? I do not want to spend the rest of my life producing or helping big brands to grow their brand in my home market or other markets, right? So I would say, why don't I use what I have learned in those areas and then create something by myself, for myself, and then for the consumers that I understand more. That's why actually I founded this company, and to produce the less harmful alcoholic products. Is also kind of the goal. I mean, I persuaded a lot of my partners for this concept. They say, okay, alcoholic drinks, the beverages definitely have its benefits. It makes you happy. You need something to release, and this is the legal plus not indulging enough. And then if it happens to be less harmful, I wouldn't say healthy. It's not healthy at all to drink alcohol. Then it's a perfect combination. So with this goal, or would say our ambition in mind, we worked really hard on R&D. We spend most of our fundraising money on the R&D instead of spending
Would you
on the advertisement. Yeah.
would you say R&D is the biggest barrier to entry and probably the biggest challenge you had founding Meetup, or what's?
Yeah, indeed. Well, I'm not saying bad things about other companies. Saying a lot of startups actually choose a different path. They choose to spend less money on, especially for packaged goods, because there is actually no big innovation behind it. Or if you really want to have a huge innovation, you need to put huge amount of money behind it. Say White Claw, for example. They say there's a R&D and innovation, but actually, if you look into that, you will realize it's nothing really that big in terms of innovation. Most of the startups would choose this way. They would rather spend more money on the educating or on the brand communication, advertisement. Less startup would like to spend money on this. The creation of my past 7 generations of the products was actually only the first step. We started to do R&D on the east side, I mean, on the enzyme thing. And we are also studying how to activate the enzyme yeast to let it react on some other material to make the not the beer but alcoholic drink engineerable, if that is a word.
Engineerable. Is that to taste better and be healthier? Is that the differentiator?
Well, I think it will be more cost efficient, and we do not need any more wheat or fruit to fermentate. We only engineer the cell to convert it to alcoholic beverages or other stuff. But this is a huge investment also ahead of it. I'm also preparing for the new round of the fundraising about that. Yeah.
And according to your experience in the fast moving consumer goods and sector, and according to the research you did for your company, what do you think is the key to create a product that can be successful in this industry?
The key, of course, is the market insight. And the market insight comes from A, of course, your knowledge, your judgment about the market. B, very importantly, is the consumer's feedback. So a lot of, this is one of my mistakes as well. I overweighted my judgment on the market trend. So that's why I failed in the first 3 generations of the products. And then I turned the strategy onto, and then I started to put more weight on the consumer insight, on the consumer's real feedback. Then I created the later 4 generation. I think especially for the founders, forget about your background. If you are a, say, experienced entrepreneur or experienced expertise person, forget about your background and listen more to the consumer and do more research. Do not create a huge amount of trial products. You are not the huge company. You are not the FMCG companies. So you cannot afford a big mass production if the result is not good.
We've got time for sort of one final question. I want to ask, what's your one piece of advice to anyone wanting to launch a successful FMCG product, bearing in mind, I guess, the lessons you've learned and the stuff you've just talked about listening to customer insights and this sort of thing?
I think then very important factor is the people. One piece of the advice is to trust young people, even without the experience, to trust young, smart, with a strong desire people. That's the other thing. So A, you listen to your customer, especially the younger generation of the consumers. B, you hire smart young people with strong desire. Yeah.
That's super interesting. I was just reading an article about early founders and what they're used to doing, and that's sort of getting people on the bus, getting people off the bus, and getting people into the right seats on the bus.
Yeah, you hire fast and then you fire fast. Sorry, it sounds hard, but it's very effective for the startups actually. And the good things about hiring, inviting the young people to join the team is because, first of all, your products are targeting at the same peer group, and then they have a stronger capability of connecting the new things together. Like the older or more experienced people who will prefer to stick with their experience and expertise and think that would be the true philosophy for everything. It's not suitable for startups.
Well, sure, that's all we've got time for today, but thank you so much for joining us on Business and Bubble Tea.
Thank you. It was a great talk.